Hey everyone, we're back for another hobby vlog. I'm Morten, your host today, and I haven't painted a lot this week. Well, technically. I painted something big. If you're on the Facebook page, the Copenhagen Middle of Battle Gamers, or actually the GBHL as well, so on either of those pages you might have seen what I've painted. And you know from the title, obviously, that it's Tom the Troll. Yeah, he's the only thing I got him done, so I haven't painted many models, but I have a lot of paint on one miniature, so I guess that counts as painting a lot. And he was a lot of fun to paint, and I'm very excited to paint the other two trolls, because that will be a fun force to play with, and they're so iconic, and yeah, I talked about it in my unboxing, how excited I was about the trolls. But how about I just show you the finished result, and then you can comment and tell me what you think. Yeah, let's do that. And here we have Tom the Troll. Or just Tom, let's just call him Tom. You never say Thorin the Dwarf or Aragorn the Human, so why should we call this guy Tom the Troll? Anyway, this is Tom. I'm very excited with how he turned out. Let's just see him from a different angle. I'm just gonna spin him around slowly right now. I am very excited about how the skin especially turned out. So the way I went about painting this cool dude, was to base it on the Tale of Painters tutorial. I've used that in the past for some things, like I've used that Thorin's Company tutorial, because you know, when you have excuse me, when you have 13 different dwarfs, and they all have to be painted differently, I just needed a way to, you know, it was overwhelming, so the tutorial really helped. And with this guy, it wasn't so much that the part that was overwhelming about it was the fact that I never painted a huge miniature before. The biggest thing I've painted was a cave troll, or the Goblin King. Now this is the biggest thing I've painted. I didn't have all the exact paints that the guy from Tale of Painters used. I think is it Garfi? Is it Garfi? Maybe it's Garfi. I think that's his name, or his handle. So I followed it with a few changes in there, and sometimes, you know, I do my own thing as well. But for most of the part, for most part, I followed it. So for the skin, he used all the colors he used are from the current Games Workshop line. But the skin that I have, that I've used in most of my, you know, like dwarves, humans, or things like that. The color that I use the old Games Workshop color for that. So it might have a slightly different tint, but I think they look very similar. So obviously it's gonna give a very similar result. And I basically started out by basing the skin with that color. Then I used 3 layers of that to get it a proper cover, because I made sure to water them down, because you don't want to lose your detail. But that also means that you have to, you know, use more layers. So that took a couple of hours to just do the skin itself, the base. And then what I did then, now I have to think. I took Bugman's Glow and Lamian Medium. I think I think the tutorial said 50-50. I think I might have done more like 40-60 and had 60% medium and 40% Bugman's Glow. And you do that in all the creases of the skin. And afterwards you go over it with the skin color. I used the same skin color that I had used before to do the first layer of highlight, and then I did another layer of highlight where I put a little bit of white in that color. Whereas in the Tale of Painters tutorial, he uses all the different specific color. So that Games Workshop wants you to do, with so you buy all the paints, but I can't buy all paints in the world, so I use a little bit of white in it to make it lighter, and then I think I used Palette Witch Flesh to do the very lightest highlights. But what I did afterwards then was to do a Lamian medium mix with the standard flesh stone that I used, and it was like 80-20, so 80% 80 or 70% medium, and then went over those highest highlights to just take them down a little bit, because otherwise they would be too. They would make too much of contrast. Now they just, when you look at it, it just gives a good overall like image idea of the thing. Yeah, I don't want to overexpose it with light right now, because you can't really see the details as much as if I do this. And then I went over details like, the nails, and the base of I used Dumble Brown for some of the darkest creases of the skin. I am fairly certain, but I don't remember how I did it. But Dumble Brown is also the base for his clothes, which I did 2 layers of to get the base on properly. And then I started highlighting that, as you do. And then, there's all the small details. His eyes, as you can see, were basically painted black, and then I just took a little bit of Palette Witch Flesh in from each side to get the white part of the eye. So the pupil. So I based it on the pupil, and then I just put it in from the sides to make sure to get a properly sized pupil that isn't too big and too small. The good thing about this troll is that in the movie you see that sometimes he has a bit of a lazy eye, so you don't have to be very super specific for making sure the eyes are looking the same way on this guy. But I will have to be a little bit more precise with that on the other two, since they didn't have lazy eyes. I gave him the spoon, just like Tale of Painters also did. That was what gave me the inspiration for using the spoon, and then using the trunk, the extra trunk hand, cutting the trunk off and putting on the base. That was inspired by Tale of Painters. The tongue, I used a red first, and then I did highlight with Buckman's Glow. You can't really see that properly here. And the spoon, the middle itself was Lead Belcher, and then just Lamian. No, Lamian Medium. I've just been talking about that so much. Aqueous Earthshade, and very simple. The base is made the way I normally do bases, except I tried to make the stones a little bit better than I normally do. What I normally do is I take Dawnstone and then just highlight it with some whites. But I felt like sometimes it looks really good, but sometimes my stones get a bit too grey, and stones usually have more different facets of browns and greens and stuff like that. So what I did was that I just dabbed the stones with Aqueous Earthshade, then I let it dry, dabbed it again, then I dabbed it with Null Oil, let it dry. I then mixed a green with Lamian Medium and just drew a few lines here and there to just give it a bit more, and then after that I highlighted it with the way I normally do, and with very careful, edge file. First a dry brush of a light grey, and then an edge highlight with a white, and then that's the finished result of the stones. Let's just see. There you go. I think that worked very well, and then you can see afterwards, I glue all the different stuff on that I feel like the base would look good with, like the flowers, or the moss, or the grass. As you can hear, I'm having a cough. I've actually been sick this week, which is why this is also the only thing I finished painting, because I did that before I got sick. I did it in the weekend, and I haven't painted for a couple of days. So yeah, I'm very happy with the base as well, and the overall troll. So I hope you like my finished result. I'm very, very happy with it. I think he's one of my best painted miniatures, and I hope I can make it maybe one of my best painted armies. I know it's just 3 models, but then you can really just focus on getting them good. So yes, that is what I had to show you so far. I have also been working a little bit on 3 more hunter orcs. That's not very interesting for you to see, but you can see they're lined up down here. And I've just done their skin only. Their skin is ready, so I'm doing some green orcs. But yeah, that's what I have so far. So most of this was a presentation of Tom here, who's the, squeaky sneezy troll. So let's give it a final look, see if I can get a good angle on him before we end this video. There you go. So, thank you for watching. Please comment, really please do, because especially when it comes to these kind of hobby vlogs, it's nice to know what you think. And like and share, subscribe of course, but really comment is what pleases me the most, personally. I like comments. I like responding to comments and stuff. So please do that. And just, subscribe and support your hobby. So definitely support your hobby. I am starting to sound weird because I'm kind of sick. So I should just shut up now and say bye. Thank you for watching.